guys, I'm Jill Powell. Today we are going to teach you how to do a winged liner. So very neutral eyeshadow, but you were wondering how to do a winged liner. I'm sure you are wondering how to do a winged liner, how to make it symmetrical. I'm going to teach you all my tips and tricks, so stay tuned. Okay, so we have completed the skin, and if you have any questions or want to know what we did, go ahead and check out the other video. But we've completed the skin. We did foundation, concealer, highlighter, blush, powder, contour, everything. So now we are moving on to eyes. So Brittany has a tiny bit of correction. So I have chosen to use a brow pencil. Do you do your brows daily?
Not every day.
Not every day, okay. So she's got a good shape going on. I just want to kind of perfect them and make them a little more exact. So she has a little bit of, I don't want to say bald spots, but some openings on the center of her brow. So I'm just filling those in. And I'm using the Dior Brow Styler. This one is the universal shade, I think. I don't know. They used to only have one, and now they have a bunch. Yeah, I don't know. It's the brown. Whatever. But what I love about this one is it's a little bit more of a firm pencil. So you're not getting a waxy finish. It's nice and dry. It stays on really well. It's a good, nice taupe color. It's not too red. It's going to look very natural. And you can pretty much draw in little hair strokes so it looks the most natural. And then it's got this handy dandy little spoolie on the end. So you are able to comb the brow and kind of get the shape that you need. So I'm just filling in where I see necessary, just to create a little bit of shape. I might use some brow gel. There's one little hair that wants to go down, but that one's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to go on this side. I'm actually going to have you turn just a tad bit. There you go. So filling in wherever you feel needs a little extra love. So I like to get the underneath really nice and perfected. And then any areas, just really light feathery strokes. This one doesn't have as much of a center as the other one, so we're just adding that back in. And then again, always taking your little spoolie. I like to brush the hairs in the front up because then you kind of get the shape of the brow. And then just kind of following it along. You always want to try and make your brows look related. More like sisters, hopefully not cousins. We're second cousins. We don't look exactly alike, but we got some similarities in there. You can kind of tell we're family. All right, I'm just going to round this one out a tiny bit. And that one up there. All right. So I think we're pretty good here on brows. Just brushing them through. This will also soften it, so if you feel that you have too much product on there or too dark, brush it through and it will look a lot more soft. So for your brows, they should always start on the outside of your nose, so she has a good starting point. You want the arch to be on the outside of your eyeball, so she's good there. And then you want it ending from your nose to the outside, just like that. So she is good and good. So that's kind of how we do our little measurements. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, brows are completed. And anytime I'm shooting a video, I always try to think, what do you guys want to see? What, smoky eye, brown smoky eye. And you came in today and we didn't know what we were shooting, so what did you say?
How to do a winged liner. I have the most trouble with it. I'll start, I'll take it off, I'll do it again, that one will be fine. I do the next eye, then it's not symmetrical with the other eye, so I'm taking that one off, and it's a whole production.
So sometimes your wings are like this, and sometimes they're like this, and so one is straight, one's angled. Okay.
It's a mess.
I get it. I get it. Okay, so we are going to be teaching you a winged liner. Yay. Perfect. And I was like, why wait? We may as well show you because you want to know. So if you want to know how to do a winged liner, this is how you do it. I have a hair on my face. We got it. We got it. We're good. Okay, so for a winged liner, you don't have to have eyeshadow on. Do you wear eyeshadow daily?
Not daily.
Not daily? Okay. So we'll just do like a basic shadow. You don't need a lot. You can do kind of that retro look where you have the light lid, kind of neutral crease, you know, pin-up-ish. But winged liner can be on top of anything. I think I have a winged liner today.
A little bit.
A little bit, huh?
It's cute.
A little wing. A little wing. So I have some like golds and sunset-y colors. So winged liner can go with anything. I'm just going to do a basic shadow just so that you can kind of see. I want you to be able to see the winged liner behind it. So we'll just do little basics. Okay. For eyeshadow. Always got to start with your primer. You always want to prime. Get those oily eyelids nice and matte. And that way your shadows will stick. So this one is Paint Pot by MAC. I tend to use this one a lot. I really do like a lot of primers, but this one's just nice because it does kind of cancel out the color on the lid. So if you have any purples or anything, this one obviously is like a soft cream color, so it's not great for every single skin tone. But if you're in this kind of light to medium skin tone range, then this will be good for you. Okay, so with the primer, I like using a flat synthetic brush. You can also use your finger, but just kind of get it all over from lid to brow. And then going in with shadows, we're just gonna do something normal, something natural. So this is a Z palette, and you can basically put your own stuff in there. So all the new NARS shadows pop out. It's so convenient. They're basically, the case is just like a little case, and you can pop them out. So I couldn't fit all of them in here, so I have another one, but these are a lot of the new NARS shadows, and I made them look this pretty myself. I was very proud. It took me maybe like an hour because I'm super anal. But yeah, I like them. These shadows are really, really pretty. So we're gonna use some of these on you. Yay. All right, so I'm going to start with her crease color. Okay, so taking a neutral color, this one has a little more warmth to it. It's pretty neutral though. And I'm just going to kind of carve out Brittany's crease, starting on the outer part of the eye, moving into the inner part of the eye, keeping her lid nice and open. She's got an awesome brow. So, you know, we have that prominent brow bone, so I don't need too much, but I do want to kind of carve it out. I'm using MAC 217, which is like a smaller blending brush, but it does apply because it's a little bit more firm than like a really soft, fluffy blending brush. So you do get a lot of application with it. So I'm just applying this to the outer part of her crease and blending it. Kind of just creating that shape right there. You like more neutral colors, you like a more matte, so we're not venturing out too crazy. All right, now I'm going to take, I like this one. So this one's like a peachy neutral. It has a little bit of sparkle, but it's matte with sparkle. So if you don't want the sparkle, tap it off. The glitter will fly more than the powder. So
that's cool.
Yep. So we are going to press on her lid and lift. And if you guys have ever seen me do eyeshadow, you know I like to invert my brush on the lid. It prevents fallout. It's really awkward the first probably like 20 times you do it. And then once you start doing it, you will fall in love. And once you get used to it, you'll never stop. So we are again tapping off that glitter and inverting your brush. This one is a flat natural hair brush. I couldn't tell you who it's from because it's all worn off. I'm old school and I have old school brushes, guys. I'm sorry. But I like it, whatever it is. Something flat, kind of just your shader brush. So there's lots of brands that make awesome shader brushes. So go out and buy them and use it. You want something a little bit more flat for your lid because it will pack that pigment on. So I'm just packing it all along her lid and blending it outward. I am going to bring it kind of up in this inner corner just to really open her eye up. All right, now I'm going to flip that brush over. I'm going to be conservative. I normally don't like to blow, but I normally don't like to blow on my shadows, but there's a lot of extra. So I'm going to take this kind of soft, I don't know, pink maybe-ish. And I'm going to use it in her brow. So this is her brow highlight color, and I'm just going to kind of carve out the arch of her brow. So I'm going to place it right in the arch first, and then go towards the inner corner and towards the outer corner. I did go over that crease a little bit, so I'm just going to take my brush that I used for my crease, which is still in my hand because I carry everything, never put things down, and just blend that out. So now you have this beautiful, soft, natural looking shadow, nothing too crazy, because our focus is the winged liner. Okay, the wing liner, you want them to both be symmetrical. You don't want one this way and one up. You don't want them going crazy. So there's a few ways you can do it. Actually, there's more than a few. Let me get my wing liner brush. Okay. So you want your wing liner to be symmetrical. That's the biggest thing, right?
Yep.
So which eye do you normally do first?
This one.
Why?
Because I think I'm lefty, so it feels more comfortable to do it this way rather than close.
So she feels more comfortable doing the opposite eye. I think I do too. So I'm right-handed. So she's left-handed. So she feels more comfortable doing the opposite eye.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my trick. Don't do that one first. You want to know why?
Why?
Because you feel more comfortable. So now you can replicate whatever you did on the hard eye first.
Got it.
So do your difficult eye first. Always. So think about it. If you're right-handed and you do your autograph and you try to copy it with your left hand because it's not as comfortable, it's never going to look as good as your right hand. But if you do your autograph with your left hand and then you copy what you did with your left hand with your right hand, now you can make it look identical, right? Does that make sense?
That's really...
Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
There you go. So always do your difficult eye first. For me, on doing somebody else's makeup, this one's my easier one because of the techniques that I use. So I'm going to do this eye first. Okay, so I'm going to use the Sigma Bent Liner brush. This is number B12. This might be difficult for some people, but you get used to it and then it becomes way easier. Some people actually might think it's easier. I'm also using MAC Fluidline. This is Blacktrack. It's a gel liner, so Bobbi Brown also makes a really awesome gel liner. There's quite a few brands that have great gel liners. You know what? Tell me which gel liner is your favorite. I am always looking for new product suggestions, so tell me in the comments. Okay, so for your wing liner, there's a few things that you're going to want to do. First of all, you want to determine where you want your wings. So some people like their wings straight out. Some people like them to be a little more lifted. What's your preference?
A little bit lifted.
A little bit lifted. So when I'm doing a little lifted, I want to follow, go ahead and look straight. I want to follow her bottom lash line up. So I'm going to take this bent liner brush, look straight, and I'm going to mark it. I created this little mark right here, and that is going to be my wing. So when I'm doing somebody else's eye makeup, I like to use my pinky as an anchor. A lot of people will use like a pad or their knuckle and use, a poof. I wish I could. My pinky works the best for me. So that's how I do it. So I've got my wing. I'm going to go ahead and actually put that wing on the other side as well. So looking straight. And you always want your client to look straight ahead. I'm going to, again, mark it because I want them to be identical. So now I'm going to, I also have this flat synthetic brush, and you can pull your product out just a tiny bit to get that really, and like I'm barely touching, to get that really faded wing. All right, so I'm just going to fill in. All right, and then I look to see if they are symmetrical. They look pretty good to me. Now we can continue on. Pull that out again. Okay, so now that we have our wings on the sides, we can go ahead and fill in the rest of the liner. So looking at her eye shape, She has it rounded right here. It flattens out a little bit. So I'm going to do a little bit thicker starting right in this area. And then same thing on the other side. So you really want to look at your eye shape and see where you need it thick. Not everybody's going to be the same distance all the way across. So I'm going to start where it flattened out. And I'm going to continue that line all the way to the corner. I'm actually going to turn a little bit this way so I can see. So we're going to connect these lines. I'm also going to have her open so I can check it. And there's so many different wings. I'm just going to fill this little guy in. There's so many different wings you can do. So this one kind of goes up. I could also fill it in. She has a deep set eye, so I could fill this little area in right here, which I may do. But we're going to start with this. Do the other side. So again, starting where it flattens out. And I studied her eye to know exactly where that is when her eye's closed. But if you don't, you can just keep opening your eye and look in the mirror. And you see I'm going both different directions with my liner brush because sometimes you get kind of like a dragged, my gel liner is not brand new anymore. So once it dries out a tiny bit, sometimes you get the little jagged edge and you want it really clean. So go both ways. Okay, so once you are smiling, I'm noticing because you have a deep set eye, so it folds over right here. It's not just lifted, which a lot of people have. So look straight. I'm gonna fill in a little bit because this is how you do it. So you have them look straight, and then you're gonna fill that area because you want it to look good when she is having her eyes open, and then when she looks down, do you notice that there's almost like this cool little Star Trek symbol? I don't know. That's what I call it. So that is how you do liner on a deep set eye. Look down. All right. Same thing on the other side because so I'm going to have you look towards me, and then look straight. So we are taking from the wing, looking straight ahead, and I'm just filling in right there to make it go straight out. And this one does a little smiley, so I'm going to pull it out just a little bit more. You don't want it to smile too much up. Okay, and look down. Just going to fill in. I know where this is supposed to go, so I'm just going to fill that in a little bit. And we are going to make sure that they are nice and even. This one's a little bit longer. So we just make the other one longer, or we take it off. So we can pull it out like that. Make it a little bit longer, or we can take a little bit of that side off. Either way, whatever works. Okay, so now we're gonna finish on the inner part of the eye. Look down. And out that way, not with your chin, just with your eyes.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So when she looks down and out to the side, it makes the inner corner of her eye really smooth for me. And then let me see. Okay. And I'm doing this part a little bit thinner. Remember, the way that her eye worked, it flattened out kind of halfway, so I had to go a little bit thicker. I do want to make that transition nice and smooth. All right. Same thing on the other side. There you go, down and out. And this is where I love this bent brush. Because it's bent, I can really get into that inner corner. Now I'm just gonna do my nitpicky things. So I'm gonna fix every little, go ahead and look down, every little jagged area that I'm seeing. And then really close to the lash line, I'm lifting up and just getting it this way for me. Just getting it nice and smooth. So it can be really perfect. If you're doing a close-up shoot, let's say you're doing like a mascara campaign or something where it needs to be super perfect, I would add another step and go over this with a liquid liner because you're gonna get that really crisp edge. But since this is just an everyday, I think gel liner is one of the easier formulas to use for the everyday person. Do you use a gel liner, a liquid liner?
I use liquid.
Liquid? What's your favorite liquid?
I use the Tarte. I forget what it's called, like Pro something, I think.
I think I have that one somewhere.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. I'm going to take a break from my eyeliner. I'm going to do my mascara. I'm going to throw a pair of lashes on, and we are going to make sure that they are even. If they're not even, we will fix it. So we are going to move on to mascara. And I'm not going to curl her lashes because we're going to put on a pair of false lashes. And sometimes if you curl them first, they can be really curly, and then it's really hard to place your strip lash. So I'm not going to curl them. We are just going to take a tiny bit, look down for me, tiny bit of mascara. I like to roll it as I'm going, so I have a slight forward rotation with my brush and wiggling so that the lashes go in between the bristles, and I can kind of pull up, style the lashes, get them nice and coated, the full lash coated. I'm pulling these outer ones out, pulling the center ones up, and the inner ones towards the inner corner. So again, same thing on the other side. Slight rotation of the brush as I wiggle, so I'm rolling and wiggling at the same time. And then I'm getting the center one straight up, the outer lashes to the outer corner. And if you're doing somebody else's makeup, you can definitely let them know they can blink as much as possible. Not as much as possible, as much as needed. Just because it doesn't hurt you, you know, so like go ahead and blink. Like it did nothing. It just brought her lashes down. So they can blink. You do not want them to have to water, so they can blink as much as they need. And I'm just, again, rolling and styling these lashes. Okay? So once we have just one basic coat, you've got good lashes.
Thanks.
She might not even need lashes, but we're going to do them just for fun. I am going to be using Kiss number 11 lashes. These are really pretty. They wing out on the outside, and since we did a wing liner, I wanted to kind of emphasize that. So I'm going to pull them off. When I pull them off, I like to take my thumb and do kind of like a rolling motion. This one's also great. They have this slit right here, so you can actually pull it off like that. They do that so that you can do that. All right. And if you don't know, when you apply a strip lash, shorter is usually on the inside, longer is on the outside, so this will be on that eye. I also like to touch the ends of the lashes together, make a little circle. This helps to create like a nice curved shape so that it hugs her eye. You don't need to hold it there for very long, but see, now it's nice and curved. I'm going to take my favorite lash glue. This is Duo, and I prefer the dark, especially on a black eyeliner. I just really prefer the dark. If you are a beginner, you might not like the dark because if you mess up, you will have a black spot of glue on your eyeshadow. So you may want to start with the clear until you get a little bit better. I do a tiny layer of glue along the edge of the lash and wait. Be patient. Unless you have the new Duo Fast Cure or whatever it is, it's something like Quick Set. There you go. Unless you have the new Duo Quick Set, you want to let it get a little bit tacky. If it's super wet, it's gonna slide around. You're gonna have a mess. You're gonna have your eyelash stuck to your eyebrow because it's not tacky. When it's tacky, you stick it on and it stays. Okay, so you know it's getting tacky when it turns from like that bluish gray and it starts getting a little bit more black. So we just gotta be patient and wait. This is what most of you guys don't do. You're not patient. You're not waiting. So we were patient. We waited. Go ahead and look down for me. If you're doing makeup on somebody else, do not have them close. It restricts the eye. It makes your eye actually shorter. So we are going to have them just look down. I like to place in the center, and then the inner and the outer. And then you take and you press in. There's also lash tools that you could use. Some of them are really, really great. But I just like to use my fingers. Let me see. Those look awesome on you. All right, we're gonna repeat the same thing with the other eye. So again, I created that curved shape. We're gonna take our trusty Duo, Apply it along the edge of the lashes. And what's great, Brittany, you can actually reuse these. So after tonight, you can take them off. You just peel them right off. You can peel the glue off, and you can reuse them quite a few times.
Sounds good, and I'll take what you just taught us and do the same thing.
Exactly.
I didn't know any of that.
And it's not super hard if you let it be tacky. If you let it get to be where when you stick it on, it stays instead of sliding around, it'll be so much better. How do those ones feel?
They feel great.
Yeah? Comfortable?
Yeah.
Cool. This style is actually really good on you too.
How should I take them off tonight?
So you're going to feel for the outer one because that's the longest, and you literally just peel it from the outer to the inner corner.
All right.
Put them in a little container. There's different ones. So we're still being patient with this guy. Patience is a virtue. If you put it on too early, it will slide around. So you do not want to jump the gun on this one. Be patient. And honestly, your wing looks pretty amazing, especially with the lashes on now. It's so good. Patience, patience. Maybe this is where you like add a little powder or brush your teeth or something. I don't know. All right, we are just about ready. It's starting to turn on me. Okay, perfect. So go ahead and look down. I'm going to put your chin this way. There you go. And we are going to come in from the top. Get that center exactly where we want it. Outside. Inside. See, I wasn't patient. It's a little too wet still. I jumped the gun. It's okay. Now we just have to wait and let it dry a little bit more, and then I'm going to stick it again because it's going to start lifting.
Okay.
I wasn't patient enough. I almost said that. Okay, look down. Just going to make sure it's nice and stuck. Patience, patience, patience. Thought I was patient. I was not patient. All right. Look at that. So pretty. All right, I'm just kind of setting the lashes where I want them. This one's kind of going up. Some lashes are not exactly twins. That one looks a little more curly. I think it looks really pretty. We're just going to add a tiny bit of mascara to the bottom lashes. I don't want to do a heavy eye underneath because I don't want to take away from her really pretty wing. So we could use a tiny bit of a neutral shadow, kind of what we used in her crease, underneath her lash line, or we could just leave it bare. So whatever you feel like, whatever you feel your eye needs. I don't really think she needs a lot on the bottom. Sorry, I'm really getting those outer lashes for you. She's got long bottom lashes. Was that hard?
Nope. We'll see when I try it later. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I am going to show you. Where's my little mirror? Here's my mirror. Yes. Because I want you to see you have a deep set eye. So take a look in the mirror and kind of keep it. So do you see, when you look down, do you see how that creates that shape right there? Mm-hmm. But when you look up, do you see how it connects?
Yeah. I do see that.
Okay, so I'm gonna, on yourself, I'll show you like a couple little tips on how to like achieve that. But basically you come in until that crease and then you drop it straight down. You drop it like it's hot.
Looks awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. There you have it, there's our wings. Okay, so just to review, we have finished the winged liner, and to get them perfectly even, you want to follow your bottom lash line. If you want them kind of slightly up, follow your bottom lash line and do those angles first so that you can get them symmetrical. And remember, do your good one first or your bad one first?
Do your bad one first.
Do your bad one first, because your good one, you can always make it look like the other one. So those are my main tips. I love using a gel liner. If you want to perfect it at the very end, you can top it with a liquid liner, but I love using the gel, and I love using that bent liner brush. But again, use what works best for you. So if you prefer an angle brush, go ahead and use that. If you prefer a tiny little liner brush, go ahead and use that. But again, do what works for you. That's what works for me. And I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below what you want to see next. All of the products used in my video are also linked below. And if you want to see more, follow me anywhere at Jill Powell Glam. Thanks again.